Hello, run friends. It's getting close now, isn't it? We're in the final rundown, Monday the 18th of December. So let's get another box open. It's right here in front of me. What have we got? What have we got today? What have we got? It's brown. Could be cognac. Could be brandy. What have we got? Oh, I don't remember adding this one. Let's see. It's a bit blurred. Let's see if we can get that on the close-up there for you. This is going to be interesting. PAPA RYE. Yeah, so I really don't remember adding this to the box at all. I've just had to scroll. I've got the price up from Master of Mole again. You know, that's where the box comes from. So if you want to look at all this, go and check out Master of Mole. But I've got the price up on there, so I'm going to do the price comparison. But I've just had a little read of the little paragraph that they've got there because I know nothing about. I know the original PAPA. I've tried the mascara, I think, or whatever it's called, like a Rumfest. But as for the rest of the PAPAs, I just have paid them zero attention. So this is going to be quite fun. A dry, spicy expression from PAPA in the Philippines, aged entirely in casks which are previously held American rye whiskey. Whiskey. The rum spent 4 years in said casks before being bottled at 45% ABV. Perhaps this could be a great start to putting a rum-based twist on a Manhattan. Perhaps it could be. So, price-wise, let's give you the price. I've got to say, PAPA, this is quite expensive. For a 4-year-old PAPA rum, £58.40 here in the UK. That translates to 74 and a bit US dollars, 68 euros. I've got these round in the wrong order here. Australian dollars, 110 and a half Australian dollars. And then Canadian dollars, we might as well round up. It's 99.8, so 100 Canadian dollars. PAPAs. I'm being really prejudiced here before I've even put this. PAPA rums are really, really sweet. And, you know, it's the PAPA original, or whatever you want to call it, should really be classed as a spiced rum. But let's go. Let's see. 4 years. There's half the bottle in here. So 30ml Dram. We've got about 15ml. Let's dive in. So this is really interesting on the nose because I immediately don't think this is sweet at all. I do get a lovely fruity profile that comes off that. Again, I couldn't really narrow it down, but I'm just going to say tropical. It's not pineapple coming out of my face. It's not passion fruit. It's not coconut. It's like, I've said this a couple of times in this series. It's like in the Barbados one as well. It's like a tropical fruit salad, if you like, sort of rounded off with a little hint of vanilla. There's a kind of go a little bit longer with that. Maybe there's a few other notes coming out of here. Maybe like orange zest. If you kind of, you know, if you do like what you do with a Cosmopolitan, you get that sort of, you get the zest, but you kind of squeeze the zest, heat it and release all those essential oils. They would do sort of orange bitters. I kind of get that orange zestiness coming through there. And I'm going to say a little touch of honey. But that's tough. But I can't narrow that down. I'm just going tropical fruit salad. I wouldn't like to go pineapple. I wouldn't like to go mango. I wouldn't like to go passion fruit. I just put all them into one. Like when you get like I've done this a lot recently for cocktail masterclasses, rum punch. I buy the litres. In the UK, we get like litres of exotic juice and tropical juice. If you got one of those out, more like the tropical juice, which is like orange, mango, pineapple, passion fruit, papaya, all that sort of stuff combined into one, that's kind of what I smell. It's like tropical fruit juice. And just to kind of sum up, I don't get much wood, which is for me is like quite good. I don't get any nods to heavy aging. As I say, it's not. It's a 4-year-old rum. It smells like I'm going to really enjoy it. It smells like, get me, you know, it smells like, I'll be honest, it smells like something like a Bacardi, what's it called, Caribbean spiced, or some of those flavoured spiced rums without necessarily that spice, but it's got that little subtle hint. Way more than like Plantation Stiggins Fancy. It smells like one of those commercial fruity Caribbean spiced rums, if you like. Havana Cuban, whatever it's called. Havana Cuban spiced, is it? In the Bacardi Caribbean spice, whatever they called. It smells like that, but it smells like I really want to have a taste. So let's dive in. So the taste profile, I actually quite like it. I'm going to get that out of the way straight away. I actually really do like this. it has got a rye. Is that you? My limited knowledge of US American whiskey, because I've done a couple of like Michter, I think it's how you say it, Michter ryes and bourbons. I'll always remember that as a tasting I did over COVID, and I actually really liked some of theirs. But it was the rye that I kind of fell in love with over like the bourbon, if you like. And it's got that sort of profile. It's like this spiciness without being heavily wood aged. It's a young spiciness, if you like. But you do get that sort of tropical fruit on there as well. I wouldn't say it's really fruity. The rye, the spice does sort of hit you on the tongue, but that's actually quite delicious. I'm thinking if it had been any more heavily aged, I'm thinking that would have taken the wood too far for me, because that is right on the limit. It's not, I want to distinguish this, it's not like a soggy wet wood or anything like that, but it has got this spiciness that I don't really want from rums. But the thing for me is it's got that fruitiness. It's got this tropical fruitiness. It's got orange, maybe like a very, there's a little, can't quite pick it. There's a little taste right at the end there. It's like my head's going nuttiness, but I don't know. It's got that profile of that sort of that fruit side that I actually really like, that kind of does actually nicely balance out with that peppery spice. If I'm gonna, I've not done this in this series, but the palate of that, because I want to make this clear, this is quite a spicy wood spice rum. I'm not going like cinnamon or anything like that. I'm going that peppery rye. Nearly Jonathan Ross came out again. That peppery rye wood that comes out of there. If I was to break this down, I would go 60% rye forward and 40% fruit forward, if you like. So it is more heavily toward, or is more towards the sort of wood on there, but it's not lengthy barrel aging that would put me off, if you like. Face value, I'm kind of enjoying this a little bit. It's more of a, I wouldn't say I'll grab it every single night, but it's more of a kind of, I tell you what, a touch of sugar. That's going to make a really good rum fashion. Minuscule touch of sugar on there, and a little bit of dilution, just to kind of mellow out that sort of, that rye spiciness. That's actually going to make a really nice mass market rum fashioned. Is there anything else that I'm coming off there? I've just had another sip where I do my usual thing and not swigging it or swelling it, just like running it over my tongue, running it around my mouth, just to kind of let those aromas there. I do actually get a little note of chocolate on the back there. More chocolate than coffee, but I do get that sort of note on there. Do you know what? I'm actually really pleasantly surprised by this. When I first opened it, I was like, I didn't have Dom Pepper, surely. £60 though. Is this a £60 rum? No. Let's be brutally honest. No, there's nothing about that as £60. Would I pay? Look, and this is not me being tight. This is me judging this alongside a lot of the other rums that I've had this year. And while, as I say, time and time again, while long aging, isn't necessarily my bag, and quality of rums is, or like the out and out taste of the rum is. If that was £35 to £40 a bottle. So what's that? Roughly, 40, say $45, €45, give or take. If that was roughly around that price, I don't think I would have any hesitations in buying a bottle of that. But at nearly £60 at, where's it gone? Oh, come back, it's gone off again. At nearly £60 at $75, that is massively overpriced for me. It's delicious, but I'll be brutally honest, if you had a bottle of Bacardi Caribbean Spice, I know this because Mummy Barman's got a bottle for Christmas. She's got the rest of the bottle that I had for a Christmas puddings and all that sort of stuff. If you had a bottle of the Bacardi Caribbean Spice and you kind of blended it with a kind of a really decent rum, so you did like 50, you'd get that. You'd get that. And by really decent rum, I'm talking like a Chairman's Reserve original, a Mount Gay Eclipse, an Appleton Signature. If you put those two together, like 50-50 split of that, or a 60-40 split, 60 towards the real rum and 40 towards the source bar, you wouldn't be too far off that. And that's not me being a Debbie Downer. That's just face value. But let's take nothing away from it. The liquid I really, really like. It is just not worth £60, or it's just not close to $75 and 68 euros. But face value, take the price out of the equation. I kind of like that. The only downside for me, and I'm talking mass market here, I'm not talking, connoisseurs market or anything, mass market. The only downside to me, I think, is maybe a little bit thin. It hasn't got it. It's got a little bit of it's got a medium finish onto it, on it, but I kind of want a little bit more from it, if you know what I mean, without going too far in the aging. It's a little bit thin. I'm not overly convinced it's dosed. I wouldn't call it sweet. I really wouldn't call it sweet. I'd just call it thin. So at that, yes, really, really like the rum. Dislike the price. That's about as much as I can give you for that. But I'm definitely kind of finishing that off. Cheers. Monday the 18th. Done. See you tomorrow.